Hey y'all, it's Lauren. I'm here this week a little bit early with an update. This is the Chicks and Dip podcast. What's up, y'all? It's Lauren. I'm back with another episode of the Chicks and Dip podcast. I've got a short episode, and this is coming out not on a Monday. What's going on? I have a little update for y'all. Here in Savannah, it is March, and March is the most insane month, of the year. It's St. Patrick's Day month. There's a bunch of other stuff, like Cameron's birthday and all these things, but really the big thing is St. Patrick's Day. So I am taking a spring break. Calvin's laughing at me. I didn't mean that it's just Cameron's birthday. I meant in a sense of I can manage Cameron's birthday, but St. Patrick's Day, I've got company. You know what I'm saying? There's people coming to stay in my home, so I've got to get my life together. So I'm taking a little spring break. So Monday, what will the date of Monday be? That's what let me look. The 20th. Monday the 20th, there will be no regular episode, but fear not, because the Patreon is live, all right? And I'm going to tell you all about it today. I'm jazzed. I'm really excited for the bonus content. I have been editing a lot of things at my house. I'm just really excited. So I will get to that here in a minute. But before that, you know what? Let me just tell y'all some things that I've been thinking about over chips and dip this morning. The first thing actually directly involves dip. I made a gorgeous crack dip on Saturday night. And I did something I've never done before. I nerded out in a way that I never saw coming. I played Dungeons and Dragons for the first time on Saturday night. Literally, I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I'm going to go play D&D. She goes, what is that? I was like, Dungeons and Dragons. She goes, you mean from the 80s? I was like, yep, from the 80s. So let me explain. I've never done this before, and I was really nervous, okay? I was excited to see my friends. That's why me and Cameron started doing this, because we have a group of friends, and just life gets in the way, and so we wanted to see them more. So we're like, what's something that we can all do that we can get on the calendar once a month? And they said, well, we already play D&D once a month on a Saturday. If y'all just want to come and do it. And so I was like, you know what? I want quality time with my friends, so I will try this. And I was nervous. I was mostly nervous because they all knew what was going on in the game, right? They've done it before, they knew how it worked, and I had absolutely no idea. So I was mostly nervous that they were going to be taking it so seriously, and I was going to be fucking it up. You know what I mean? I thought that I was going to be too giggly or something, because it's not really my space. I don't know a lot of, I don't need fantasy world kind of stuff. I don't even have the vocabulary for it. I don't even know the genre of what that game is. That's just never been my vibe. And so I was really intimidated. And so a couple of weeks ago, a friend of ours, Omar, came over, and he helped me create this character, and there's all these different races to choose from, and then I don't know what they're called, subclasses or something. I don't even know, y'all, but my character, she's a snake woman. They told me to be something that I am not in real life, and so I was like, ooh, I want to wear a wig. Y'all know me. And so I was like, what kind of wigs do I have? Not a blonde one, I need to be the opposite. So I'm going with either, I haven't nailed it down yet, but I'm going to either do a little short, black bob, or I'm going to do a green something. But I'm a snake woman. And I've been talking. So how the game works, there's an actual game, but it's not a board game. It's more improv than anything. They just will be make something up. Pretend we just walked into a tavern and make it up. And then you and the 6 people at the table with you literally make it up. Somebody's how's the day going? Cheers. And everybody just talks you're just making shit up. And so I was I feel I really need to embody a snake, So the whole night, every time I said something with an S, I was hissing. So somebody was what's your name? And I decided that my character would have an attitude. Someone said, what's your name? I said, mind your business. It was so it was so fun. It was really weird. I'm not even gonna lie. It was very weird. It was a lot to take in. I was very intimidated. And then you just have to lean in and kind of get silly with it. And it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. And the crack dip was like big bonus. And like, to like really get into the game, we were calling them rations instead of snacks. Like one of the weirdest things I've ever done, but really fun. I'm excited. I'll do it again next month. And I think that apparently these games can go on for like a year. This is news to me. So I don't know. I'll keep you all updated on my nerd journey I'm on. Anyway, so that's kind of the only thing that has been happening the last couple days. But before I get into the details on the Patreon and a little sneak peek of some of the upcoming episodes, y'all know I want to talk about Neutral. Neutral is a vodka seltzer made with vodka and real juice. Today on the set, I have strawberry lemonade. It's refreshing. It's crisp. It's like a nice, gorgeous, not too sugary lemonade with a touch of like fresh strawberry in it. It's perfect for a summer day. It's great. I love it. So I can't hype it enough. I'm excited to do St. Patrick's Day with a Neutral in my hand all day long, which is kind of funny. I was listening back to this week's episode, the one with Michelle, and I was, like talking in the intro and with her about how just like my drinking style has changed. And I just want to put out a disclaimer. St. Patrick's Day is an exception, okay? I would like to cut back on drinking, but St. Patrick's Day, we floor it. Everyone in this city floors it, and I'm excited. I've got company coming to town, and you know what? I prepare. I am hydrating today. It's Monday. The day is Friday. So I'm hydrating for 5 days straight so that I can just absolutely floor it. My mom is going to hear that and be like, oh, God, I'm scared. Anyway, every year that I've floored it, I've either hurt myself or broken my phone. We'll talk about it. With that, thank you so much, Neutral, for supporting the show. I love you. Let's talk about the Patreon. I'm so excited. So if you don't know what Patreon is, it's an app on your phone. You can use it on a desktop too, but it's a place for bonus content. And so it's a subscriber-based platform. I guess it's kind of like OnlyFans, but I'm not going to be naked. So that's exciting. The Patreon for the Chicks and Dip podcast, what you can expect, there's a tier that is $5 a month. And a lot of you guys are like really amazing. Y'all send me messages all the time saying, how can I support you? How can I support you? How can I support you? This is like a real, actual, tangible way to support me. Of course, sharing the show is huge. Listening to the show, huge. That helps me with sponsorships. That helps me get more people listening to the show. It all connects. But the Patreon is really cool because there is that subscription fee. And I mean, that directly supports Three Chicks Media and me. And that is huge. So anybody who is a Patreon member, like, you are a real one. Okay. I just appreciate it so much. That's what's going to get this company just off the ground even more. I have a little tier name I'm toying with. I feel like the one I'm going to land on, so like you can name the tiers out. So right now I've just got the $5 a month option, and I think it's going to be called the Extra Guac. I played around with like Pod Besties or like, I don't know, like Dip Gang or something. I don't know. I think I'm just going to go with, actually, no, I don't even like guac that much. We're going with extra queso, or maybe I'll call it large queso. Something around a dip though, and it's going to be like the cream of the crop of the dip, which for me is queso. Large queso is the best dip on this earth. And to me, that's what the Patreon members will be. Y'all will be premium podcast listeners. Everybody who listens to the show, I appreciate, but the ones who subscribe to the Patreon, y'all are real ones. Y'all are top of the, like, y'all are it for me. But on the Patreon, every single month, your $5 a month will get you at least 3 bonus episodes. It will be kind of a mix of content. Some episodes will be just extra regular podcast episodes, just like this with a video component. Some episodes will be audio only. Some episodes will be full-on vlogs. And so to give you all some examples, what we have this month hitting the Patreon is, the first thing that's going to be on there is a audio only episode with RP Knight, who has been a guest on this show before. He and I recorded an audio only episode at my house, and it was all about celebrity encounters. And so I crowdsourced from y'all, and I said, tell me the celebrities you've met. Tell me what they were like. Give me the tea. And I myself spilled a little bit of tea. I've met not a ton of celebrities. I haven't had that many encounters, but I've had enough to have some awesome stories and some stories that make me want to die whenever I think back about them. And RP's the same. So that's a fun episode that we can look forward to. And the other episode that I have almost done that will be also on the Patreon this month is a vlog with Kylie Cloud. Kylie is the drag queen that came on the show a few weeks ago, and she actually put me into full drag after we recorded, and I vlogged the whole thing. So I popped up my tripod, and y'all, literally, it took 5 hours to get me in full drag and take photos. It was like the longest, most fun day ever. I had on so much makeup that I had to take it off with olive oil. Do you hear me? Olive oil! It was so crazy. And whenever I got all dressed, Kylie was like, oh my God, you look like me. Like it was crazy. It was so much fun. But that's going to be a super fun vlog. And that is exclusive to the Patreon. That's the key here. Every single thing that I film for the Patreon is not going to be available anywhere else. It won't be on the regular Spotify. It will not be on the YouTube channel. It's going to be exclusive content only for the Patreon subscribers. Again, it's just $5 a month. And that is a huge way to support me and get extra content. And so some months, whenever I have a lot going on. Honestly, March and April will probably have more than 3 bonus episodes. I think that it will probably be closer to 4, maybe even 5, because again, I have St. Patrick's Day coming up. So another one that you can expect either I'm going to try to squeeze it in March, just depending on my editing, how quickly I can get it done. But I'm going to try before the end of the month. I'm going to try to have a full St. Patrick's Day vlog on the Patreon. And again, you get to see my outfit on my Instagram, you get to whatever, but to actually experience the whole vlog of it all, you're going to have to subscribe to the Patreon. And it's just going to be a little bit more personal. And speaking of personal, another feature on the Patreon that I have chosen is a little community tab. And so the community tab is basically like... it's like a Facebook thread or like a Reddit thread or like a big group chat. All the Patreon members will be able to comment in it and chat with one another, and I'll be able to respond to you guys directly in there. And again, that's like private. You have to be a subscriber to have access to those conversations. And so I really love that. I subscribe to a couple of shows, and it's really a fun place to kind of just build community with your audience. If you listen to an episode and you have a question, pop it in the community. Be like, yo, did y'all hear whenever Lauren said this? What did she mean? I can respond. Other people can respond. Or if you're like, I don't know, if I'm talking about if I'm talking about shopping or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I really, love my Skims, or I love this bra. In the community section, you guys can say, oh, Lauren likes these Skims. Well, here's a Amazon version. Or you like this bra? Here's one that fits better on my boobs. Like, it'll just be a whole mix of stuff. But the community of the Chicks and Dip podcast, you guys are so amazing already. And I want to provide a space for y'all to connect with each other. Because on Instagram, if you don't go through with the following process, like, how are you going to find these people? So the real ones who listen every single week, I know y'all would get along because y'all all share the same favorite thing, this show. So I want to provide a community space for y'all. So I've also added that feature to the Patreon channel. So I'm just really excited, and honestly, it'll grow from there. Eventually, I would really like to get into some live shows, and I mean those live on Patreon, not like live on a stage. I'd love to do that one day. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But on Patreon, there's actually all these features where I can go live and communicate with y'all. I can actually like FaceTime with y'all. I mean, there's so much stuff to do, and I'm just planning to grow it. So now is the time. Get in early, the OG Patreon members. I will never, ever forget you. I will tell you that. I say that all the time about the people who listen to this show. I swear I know your names. If you've been listening since day one, I know all of your names. And that'll be the same thing with the Patreon. I cannot wait to see who jumps on board and goes ahead and subscribes. I feel like I can't hype the Patreon up anymore. I've really, really done a good job with that. I hope that y'all just start subscribe. But y'all check out the episode description on this. If you're listening to this, you can scroll down on Spotify or Apple or YouTube and you can see the description. The link will be there. And I will also have it all over the social media, of course. Upcoming episodes we have. I'm so excited to give y'all a little sneak peek. So I just gave y'all some sneak peeks of the Patreon regular episodes that are coming up. I'm having Rachel on the pod. She's coming back to town in a couple of days. And she and I, so funny story, Rachel and I actually recorded an episode the day after my 26th birthday party. And when I tell y'all I had a hangover from hell, I curled my hair, full makeup, I put on the outfit, and I was like, no, like I'm committed to this podcast at all costs. I was so weird. Like, Rachel was talking to me, and I was like, uh-huh. Like, it was just a long pause and just like me heavy breathing, and then I would just say one word response to everything she said. So like, it was not good. We did have this iconic moment that I wish I would have like clipped and saved, but we got to talking about that movie Tuck Everlasting. I hope that y'all have seen that movie. But we were looking up pictures of the cast because Rachel and me were like, oh my God, like, what was his freaking name? Jesse, or what's the main character? Calvin, have you seen that movie? I don't think that you'd like it. Harris, I can't picture you wanting to watch that movie. But the main guy, we were talking about how cute he was. We're like, oh my God, like he was so hot. And so Calvin pulled up a picture of him and turned the computer screen around, and me and Rachel both go, ugh. At the same time. So that was the only like awesome thing that came from that whole episode. But the rest was an hour and a half of trash and like my brain just mush. So we're getting a redo, y'all. Rachel's coming to town, and we are recording before St. Patrick's Day. But something that Rachel wants to talk about, she is getting married. She just got engaged, as of course, I've told you all that. And so she's really excited to come on. We're going to kind of talk about like wedding planning in a time crunch, which is surprisingly interesting. Like most people we tell, oh yeah, she's getting married in July. They're like, oh yeah, like July 2024. And we're like, nope, July of this year. And people freak out, but Rachel's absolutely crushing it. She came to Savannah and she found her dress last week. I'm working on the bachelorette party. So we're going to talk about some fun wedding things. But Rachel also has some really cool things to say. Like she played softball in college. She also is going to talk about bladder problems. We'll get into that. Like really, this is going to be a well-rounded episode. My sister's a well-rounded girl. So I cannot wait for her to come on. So y'all get jazzed about that. Another awesome episode that y'all can look forward to is Brooks. Iconic. My best friend Brooks is in town. We're going to talk about our freaking 15-year-long friendship, but he and I have been through a lot together. I mean, we've been through girlfriends, boyfriends, college, high school, middle school. He and I have been through a ton, and so I'm so excited to get him in the chair. I feel like it's going to be like a 2.5-hour episode. It's going to be great. And so those are two episodes. I also am finally narrowing down a date to have the therapist come on and talk about stress. That episode I cannot wait for because literally, y'all, the amount of time I spend with my shoulders up to my freaking ears, like I'm stressed. Everybody I know is stressed. And somebody actually, my sister was in the car with me and I was talking about how some nights, like there's not a specific thing that is stressing me out. But I just feel like I'm not sleeping and I can feel that it's like a stress. And I'm like, but I don't know when I'm stressed. And she goes, you know, Lauren, I think that's called chronic stress. I was like, oh, shit. Shoot. She's like, you know, she works in a doctor's office and hearing her say chronic stress, I was like, I've been diagnosed, baby. So I'm excited for the therapist to come on, talk about some healthy ways we can all deal with stress. I'm ready. We've got just good things coming. And honestly, that is kind of... I'm looking at my little notes here. That's kind of all I've got for y'all. Like I really, I didn't want to do a full-blown solo episode again because this is going to come out before Monday. It's going to be early. I really just wanted to hop on here and give y'all an update. And I really hope that y'all will support me going on Patreon. I really do. Of course, the no episode on Monday is going to stink. That's going to be a real bummer. And so there's a really easy way to get the content that you fiend for every Monday morning. It's called Patreon. $5 a month. Check out the episode description. Check out the show. I believe the link is literally just patreon.com/the Chicks and Dip podcast. So really, I just want this to be a community where we can all like feel close and comfortable and safe in the behind the paywall, like that's where I'm going to be giving y'all the real tea. Because how many times do I come on the show and I'm like, I don't do it often. I don't like to blue ball the audience, but like, I'll say a story and I'll be like, oh, I won't get too deep into that. Or, that's a story for another time or whatever. The other time, the too deep, all of it, that lives on the Patreon because y'all are real ones that I know, love, and trust. So y'all get all the tea on there, okay? I'm going to leave y'all with that little bit of clickbait. You're welcome. But that's all I got for you guys. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Keep an eye on everything, all the socials. And actually, wow, I actually did clickbait y'all at the beginning of the episode because I said I hurt myself and lost my phone. And I said, we'll talk about it. And you know what? We're not going to talk about it on this little snippet of an episode. I'm going to talk about it on the Patreon. Subscribe, baby, $5 a month. She's a businesswoman. Okay, with that. New episode will drop on Monday the 27th. Wow, that feels so far away. Regular episode drops Monday the 27th. In between now and then, you can hear it all on the Patreon. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for this short little teeny baby episode. Y'all have a fabulous weekend, whatever. Whenever I'll see you again. Bye, you guys. Love you.